guys, this is Sierra, your host with N BIZ Beauty Podcast. This podcast is for all the mom bosses, boss babes, entrepreneurs, and all of those creative and artists out there in the beauty industry. Y'all?
Oh.
You guys?
Ooh.
Bree's on the podcast!
Excuse me. Hi.
Yeah, so we have Bree today on our second episode of I Left My 9 to 5. And so today we're going to be talking about basically the challenges that you can face as an entrepreneur. I think these are things that people want to hear. We don't always get into the nitty gritty about what it is that we really do. And so I want Bree to introduce herself and tell her what she does. She's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. I am so excited. My name is Bree, and I am a lifestyle portraits and fashion editorial photographer.
All the things, y'all.
All of the things. I do a lot of things.
And don't back it up. Hold on. We published around here. Let's not be modest over here. We published. There we go.
Okay, a published lifestyle and editorial fashion photographer here in Las Vegas. I have been shooting for 4 years. Am I getting into your questions?
Yeah, no. Like, I want you to give a whole spiel, girl. Who, what, where, what you doing, how you doing?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 4 years now, and it has been an amazing journey. I've loved getting to know people, meeting new people like yourself, from makeup and hair to models and families and things like that. And yeah.
Yay. And so so the topic that we're basically talking about today, you guys, is the challenges, like I said, that we face leaving your 9 to 5. And so with you being, a photographer for 4 years, like, how was it, like, kind of like breaking through that? Like, what kind of, like, how did you find the passion for photography?
Well, it came out of nowhere. So we have to backtrack just a little bit. Just a little bit. I started out, I was playing volleyball in college.
Okay.
And that was my passion. I loved it. I didn't think I was going to be doing anything else. That was just going to be it. I'm going to be traveling overseas, and that's what I'm going to do. Then I got pregnant.
No.
My junior year. And I said, oh, what are we about to do? Like, this is not supposed to happen to me. This happens to everyone else and not me. But such a blessing in disguise, because your girl was doing way too much.
Aww.
Okay, I was doing way too much, and he definitely came and was a blessing to my life and like calmed me down.
Right.
But when I came back from school, I was like, now what am I gonna do? I never had an actual job before then, and I was like, scrambling. I'm like, I gotta find something to do.
Like, yes, I need to find a hobby, y'all.
I need a 9 to 5. Hello. So I actually ended up coaching. So my mom was like, why don't you call around to some schools and see if you can coach? Because I was going through withdrawals, not having volleyball. Like, volleyball was everything.
And I can honestly understand that, because I played basketball for a year round for 7 years straight, all the way up until college. So it's literally like a part of a dedication. Like, in high school, I mean, you probably can relate. Like, you didn't have a lot of TV time, a lot of hanging out. It was like eat, sleep, dream, and practice basketball and volleyball. So it's a lot.
Yeah, it was a like a sobering time, because it was like, being young too and having that mentality that you're going to be doing the same thing all the time. It's kind of like, you just took that thing from me, and then now I have to dedicate that time that I was spending doing that to another being.
Right.
And it was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
But I ended up coaching volleyball. I called a school, Somerset Sky Point, and they had just opened their high school, and they needed, they're like, we were just talking about how we needed to fill this position.
Right.
So I ended up starting their volleyball program and was doing that. It was great. Did that for like 3 years, 2 years. Yep, 2 years. Then I started coaching at the Meadows High School. Coached there for about a year. And then my brother was a senior in high school. Okay. And so his friends are doing like the whole homecoming thing. Right. And they were like, we don't want pictures. And their parents was like, what? y'all are seniors and y'all don't want no pictures. And so I was like the cool sister. So I was already driving them around, and I was like, I'll just take your pictures at the park, and then like, you know, it won't be a big deal. So I just had my phone, and I was like, you know, some of the parents showed up to the park, and I was like, put your hand in your pocket, like give me something, like don't be you gotta like these. You're gonna like them after the fact. You don't want to make a big deal, but you're going to like them. Right. You're gonna want to like them. And so after that, I sent the pictures to the group chat. And the parents were like, oh my gosh, these are so nice. Like, are you a photographer? Do you do this? I'm like, no. I had no
desire.
Please. The photographer, what is that? What is it? Like, you know, like, I think photographer, like paparazzi, the people you see shooting celebrities.
I mean, yeah.
So I'm like, no, what? I was like, no, I know what people want to see when they see a photo and how I would want to be taken care of. And it honestly just blossomed after that. My mom like surprised me and blessed me with my first camera. And she was like, yeah, I think you should really look into it. So I went to YouTube University, got my degree.
And coming with the bag.
Okay. Yeah. And after that, I grew like to love it and adore it, and I loved hearing people's stories and capturing them and their families,
which you do a really good job on. I mean, I felt, and I think I honestly discovered you I discovered you on Instagram, of course, and I think it was just honestly, I mean, it's funny, and you know this is you, but it was like, who is this girl eating on the camera? Like, just like, and I love it because it was like, dang, if my personality, it would be that. It would be you. And I'm just like, you know, and so I was like, oh my goodness, like just a whole vibe. And, you know, you could just kind of tell like who a person is and how they are just by like, you know, their natural self. And she's really like this, you guys, in real life. Like she ain't just doing this for y'all.
I ain't fake. Okay. If anything, I'm toning it down just a little bit for the podcast. I try to act right.
Hey, y'all, we gonna get her loose. Don't worry about it. We only a couple minutes in, all right? No, but I do love that story. And I think that's also a thing that, you know, you really don't know what you're going to like find that finds you sometimes. I know what for myself personally, like I found my passion through being the oldest of three girls. And so my mom ended up widowing very young. I think I might have been in kindergarten. So she had like three girls working three jobs. And so I kind of helped in the household by doing my sister's hair. And so that was something. And now that I have my own daughter who has the most hair I can ever, and I have one, it is crazy, you guys. And so I found my passion through that. And so I can really relate to like, you know, not even thinking like one thing of it, but it was a hobby you picked up and here you are.
Yes, here you are. Loving every bit of it.
Yeah. So when you first kind of stepped off, like when you were like, this is the decision, like what made that decision for you to kind of like fully pursue photography?
Honestly, it was COVID. So I was coaching and then everything just stopped. Right. And no one knew what was going on. Everyone was panicking and frantic and was like, will we finish? If people are dying. Like, we thought we were just going to be inside a little bit, like, oh, people are getting sick. And then it was like, wait, I know that person and they got sick. And then, you know, so it was a lot of like unsure. Yes. But within that, I mean, the schools were shut down, so I couldn't coach. And then everybody was like, well, are we going to be able to ever play again? Because the balls, and there's no way to sanitize the ball every time somebody touch it. Yeah. What is it was a whole lot of like not knowing. But also within that time, people started calling me like, do you still take pictures? Because it was just a hobby then. I was just like, if you want senior photos, like $40. Look, we ain't $40 no more. Nope.
Price then went up, child.
Look, we ain't $40, but I will take your senior photo. So people were like, are you still taking pictures? Because people were scared. You know, my grandparents, this and that. And so they were reaching out to me and it turned into a business. Now I'm like, well, how much should I be charging? And do I need to use contracts? And do I need to do this? And so I just started like on the job training. There you go. Because it was coming in and I was like, wow. So it was beautiful because I'm like, I'm going to be capturing these people and who knows what's going to happen, but they're going to have these images that last forever. So,
and I love that. I didn't know that that's kind of what started like the whole thing for you, but I honestly think, oh my goodness, like I either feel like during COVID, you're either going to be the one that adapts to that, or you're going to be the one falling behind.
Exactly.
And so it's just really beautiful to see when I hear people's stories like yourself, like, a lot of people kind of did a lot during COVID. And I know with myself, I'm not doing it as much, but I launched a hair and skincare line around that time. And that's how I stayed afloat, by giving people like things that they need for the hair, skin, and nails.
Awesome.
So I was just like,
you ain't doing nothing sitting at home. Come
exactly.
on, get
So
them together.
we had mains growing and flourishing all of COVID. And so I love that. Yeah. And now with you kind of like, you mentioned contracts. How important are they?
Yeah. Don't breathe without a contract. Let me tell you. No.
No. Listen up, y'all.
No, please. Turn us up. No, contracts didn't become important to me until probably the last year and a half, because I started working with more companies or people that are very particular about what they want, because they have their own brand, they have their own whatever that they want you. They're putting all the weight on you to do, and they be wanting it immediately, like Amazon. Bree Images is not Amazon Prime, okay? As much as I love Amazon, I have an Amazon storefront, so if you want to go buy something, you can do that too.
Get in there.
But no, I had people in my life that were telling me the importance of contracts too. So I always had one. Like my first one, we was in the trenches with the first that first like couple years. I was printing out my contracts, and it was like, it's the date, the time. It was very simple. Like, you're gonna get your pictures around this time, and like tag me. It was real simple, like one page.
Right.
I was pulling up to the photo shoot. Okay, we was putting the paper on the trunk. They was signing it in person. I would take a picture of it and give them their paper, but it was what it was.
Right.
Now we got, processes and all of that, but extremely important. And I think contracts get a bad rap because people say like, oh, you use contracts so people don't rob you or swindle you. And it's like, yes.
That's part of it.
And it's a big part. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big part. But also it keeps you accountable, because life be lifing sometimes. And, whether you get a project that, I don't know about y'all, but like, I don't be super excited about everything that I take pictures of. And sometimes that could easily just get pushed to the back, because it's like, it's okay. But when you have a contract, it keeps you accountable as well. It's like, okay, I got about 5 more days before I got to get this done.
I love that. I actually like that. I guess I never thought about that perspective, like keeping you accountable, but that does make sense, because I'm definitely a person that does well on deadlines, because, we be having some time when we procrastinate a little bit. Just a little bit. But we getting better. Awareness is key. But no, contracts, yes, are very important. I definitely feel like you definitely have to protect your business, yourself, and your clients.
Yes.
And so it's definitely important. If you don't have a contract, you guys, get you one of those. I think you can find templates off of Etsy. If you have the budget to like hire a lawyer or attorney, that would be the best route, just so you're covering all angles of your business, because not every business is going to have the same contract line or guideline. So when it comes to your profession or whatever it is that you're doing, you want to definitely make sure that you do all the ins and outs on all perspectives.
Yes.
Okay?
And don't feel like intimidated about a contract, because it's an agreement.
Yes.
All it is an agreement. So if anything does go wrong, there's a point of reference. Like we did talk about this, because once you go to court and all that, they don't really care about like, I just felt like feelings and all of that. It's very much so like, what did you agree on?
Right.
And it's like text messages, but like to have something where it's signed, even if it is the date, the time, how many pictures they gonna get, and when you plan on getting it back to them.
Yeah, and that's important for you photographers, because I mean, you have photographers that are like, 6 pictures. You have people that are like, hey, we're gonna let you pick out of the 30 we send you. Exactly. I mean, everyone is different. Everybody has a different workload capacity that they can work with, and then others. So that's a good point. That's definitely a good point. Now, the big question. What are some things that you learned early on when you first kind of started? Like, in the sense of, did you have like good support system during that time? Were there some friend dynamics that kind of like crossed and like left? Did it? Because entrepreneurship is a tough game, but I didn't really notice like how of a big impact it would have for myself, because obviously I was wanting to do what I wanted to do because I love to do it.
Yeah.
But then you're not turning around and looking at like everybody else looking at you like, oh, I see you, but do you see me? Because you be acting like you don't see me.
Acting like you don't see me. Like, I ain't seen you in months on none of my posts.
Yes.
Like, now you like, I be seeing you on Instagram. You be like, really? Mm-hmm. I don't see you. Mm-hmm. That's cute.
Yeah. So did you notice any of those kind of like things? Was it something just like, it came a time where you kind of had to, choose between your work and obviously hanging out? Because a lot of people, until you get into this entrepreneurship, you have all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You got all the time.
All the time.
But as soon as you make that decision to be your own boss.
Yeah. It's like, I can't. I can't make it.
We going to have to pencil something in.
I got C. I believe that I had a great support system. My family was super supportive.
That's good.
Almost to the point where they believed in me more than I did. I'm like, these pictures is trash.
Aww.
Trash. Like, I go back to like year 1 and 2 and I'd be like, I was charging people for these pictures. Like, I'm giving free complimentary redos for everybody for the first 2 years. Like,
oh, that's a good.
I think I might. Yeah, I really think I might do that, because
that's kind of like an artist remastering their work.
Yeah, because
I love that.
What was that? And people love, like, oh my gosh, I love those pictures. I have them hanging up. I said, take it down.
Aww.
Take it down.
You should do it.
I think
be on the
might.
lookout.
Stay tuned. No, I think I might do that. But even reaching out to people, and I think it's a kind of a part of just how I carry myself. Like,
yes.
It is hard sometimes being an entrepreneur and people asking you questions on how you do stuff all the time, because you never know their intentions. Mm-hmm. But because I'm a very open person, and I stand on this statement that like nobody can steal from me what I give freely. Mm-hmm. So if I'm giving information, I say anything, run with it. Do what you got to do.
In a hurry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care if I see you do the exact same thing that I just put. Like, okay, you're not me.
Yeah. You ain't got the sauce.
You can try. No, but I learned that I was not going to be the average photographer. Mm-hmm. Photography is a very male-dominated area. And a lot of the men photographers I was talking to were treating photography like a hustle. And that's not, I came in on passion and love of creativity and relationship. I'm over here like, I just want to take pictures of everyone. And they're like, no, you got to do this. You got to have that. You got to charge for that. You giving too much. You giving, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And like, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Like intentions, you guys. And this is actually one of the reasons why Bree is here, because I love working with people who have the right intentions, that really love, what they do. And I'm definitely one of those people, I can see it. You don't have to tell me about what you do. You ain't got to say what you do. Like, I can see it, and I feel like that's what I look for when it comes to working with someone, wanting to collaborate. And so it's very important that if you're wanting to kind of like get involved with other people, that you just kind of see where they're at, because I feel like we both had a situation where, some things, transpired where we had to be like, okay, hold up. We ain't doing this for that.
This
so
what we not finna do.
We not doing that.
Yeah.
So, set your boundaries, you guys. That's so important. And, it's just this thing we have to watch out for. Unfortunately, everyone's not doing the same thing for the same things. So, you just got to get that fat check.
Period. And don't be afraid to like voice those things, like, and have those conversations. I think with social media, we have this like mentality that we have to almost just go with the flow. Whatever is given to me, I gotta take it. Absolutely not.
Or just being the fear of like being unliked, like
unliked or like canceled. Child, cancel me. Cancel me, because if it have anything to do with integrity, character, I have had so many situations in the last 2 years, just the transition and the growth of my business. And like you said, like came across you on Instagram, and like, you know, Vegas is so small.
Yes.
And so you work with one person, like, oh, I know that person. You worked with such and such. Like just yesterday, I was at an event, and they're like, you worked with my friend, da da da. And I'm like, oh,
right. Yeah.
You never came up.
Nope.
But you know me. You know? And so realizing that, and then, you know, people size you up on the back end, and then they come and meet you, and they have there's no way for me to know truly what you think of me or how you perceive what I'm doing, whether you take me seriously or not. But when you get into those tight situations, not being afraid to voice and say, I'm not okay with that. Like, let's reassess what we're doing here.
Yes.
Or what do you mean by that?
Yes.
When you said this, like, hey, I just want to check in on, you know, what we talked about. Is that still valid? Because, you know, things change.
Yes.
But being more vocal with those boundaries and not just being, because I feel like sometimes we're like, yeah, boundaries, and they just disappear. And it's like, well,
is that how you really felt?
Well, give them an opportunity to talk about it, maybe, you know, like, you know, still have that. It's just communication.
Yes. And that's really important. I feel like I actually had a situation where I had to put on my big girl panties and, you know, have this tough conversation. And I'm glad I did, because it let me know that I grew as a person. It made me know that, hey, you put your foot down for yourself because you know what you stand for and like what you see yourself doing. And if you can't do it with the people that want to do it with you, do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Period. Bouncing.
Now, with all that being said, what do you think took the longest to learn? Whether that's, you know, just as a photographer or just setting yourself up, you know, being an entrepreneur?
I would say it was, and still kind of is at times, not allowing my heart to run my business. I put a lot of heart into my work.
Yes.
And when it's not respected, or it's still the attempt to take advantage of the kindness and the consideration that everyone gets, when I'm gonna go over and beyond for everybody. But I had some situations where, you know, people took advantage of either the relationship or the niceness. People think that I'm just acting nice, and they don't realize that I actually am nice, and that it takes effort and time to go over and beyond. And even though it's my heart to do so, when it's like it's twisted and mangled into something else, it still hurts. But learning how to control my emotions when it comes to the business side. Like when I get a project, no matter what it is, I don't care if you're like, Bree, I want new branding photos. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm invested. Like I am now Sierra.
Yes.
And so when Sierra disrespects Sierra, I'm like, why you do that?
Why you do that?
Why you do that? Like we was doing so well. So that is something that I definitely, and honestly, the Lord helps me with that, because it goes way beyond my abilities. Like I know I can't physically just be like, okay, I'm just not gonna feel, you know? But the Lord just really helps me find that balance, and I'm like, Lord, you gotta help me with this, because I'm invested. I'm invested myself. Like it's Bree Images. It's not, you know, like Life Touch. Like when you get Bree Images, you're getting me.
Yes. And we love Bree. We love the images, and we love Bree. And actually with you saying that, I honestly feel that, you know, it's just honestly one of those situations where you kind of have to know what it is that you want to stand for with your business too. And as if you guys follow her on Instagram, you will see Christian entrepreneur. And so I feel like that's definitely, it does go a long way. I feel like a lot of the situations that we go through, or, you know, God is going to be talking to us, and I feel like our gut's going to be talking to us. I feel like I'm very intuitional. So I very gravitate towards energy very easily. So I can kind of feel right away when something's off, and I'm like, I always trust it, and I never go against the grain, and I've always been very protected of that.
Very much so. Yes. Like all money ain't good money. I know y'all heard that before, but all money ain't good money. All projects ain't good projects. And I had to learn that too, that even though I'm really excited about it and it has the potential to be really great, if I don't have peace about it, or it's this struggle, like I will walk away. I've walked away from about 3 pretty large deals in the past year that people would be looking at me like, excuse me, what, Bree, suck it up. It's like, well, what do we, for what? What is the exchange for $1? Absolutely not. My peace, you know, my integrity, my time, like all of these things would be sacrificed for $1. And not to mention all the other things connected to that one project or that one person or group of people that you will be working with. You sacrifice all, like bringing all of that into play for this one moment. And so knowing where you are and what you stand for is huge. And I'm gonna be honest, I struggle with putting Christian entrepreneur in my Bible. I mean, in my Bible, in my bio, I really did. Because although, you know, going to church, I've been in church my whole life. The Lord, I'm not afraid to say that I'm a Christian or anything. Amen. But when you go into business, there's this thing that happens, and people start being like, because even now, like, I don't shoot boudoir. I don't shoot anything nude. I don't shoot, like, you know, you ain't finna be smoking and doing all, like, there's like certain things that I won't do. Like I won't capture. But I don't have a problem if you do that. If you drink, if you want to be naked, if you want to do those, that's grand. But Bree Images, the brand, is not going to capture it. And when I first was bold enough to like make that statement, people was like, well, what if it's maternity and her stomach's out and she's in a bra, and like people want to like nitpick and like poke the bear and like poke and prod, and it's like, it's not even about that. It's like, if you go into a restaurant and they say you can't wear that, are you gonna be that person that's saying, why can't, you're gonna go in there every day and complain about why that's their policy? Are you gonna go get that tie and come have a seat? Come on now. Period. So learning that it's not personal. It's not a personal attack. If anybody's ever met me, I flow with everybody to the point where they'd be like, wait, do you? but they do that, and I'm like, yeah. That doesn't mean they don't deserve to be loved or experience kindness. I'm just not gonna take no pictures of it.
And I feel like that also just kind of goes back to like what you stand for, your values. And you know, not everybody's taking the same pictures. You know, there's a type of aesthetic that you want to kind of go for. What is you? Because I feel like our hobbies are our identity. They are. And so I feel like that reflects that. And so I love that. I kind of love that little sprinkle. Speaking of sprinkles, you said projects, and I know you have a little baby that was birthed late last year. What you want to talk about that?
Beautographer.
Yes,
that's so cute.
That is actually how I met Bree. Actually, that was my initial time of meeting Bree, and it was amazing. I think we got like 4 or 5 publications off this one shoot, you guys, and I'm gonna let her talk. Tell him.
Oh my gosh. It actually birthed just from my experiences, but also with a makeup artist out here named Miss Rosa. Hi, Rosa. Hi.
We
she
love
actually
her.
reached out to me to work on a collaboration for her. And she does bridal makeup, and she was like, I love your work, and I just... don't hate me. Like, she was like very timid about it because she didn't want me to feel that she was like taking advantage of me. But she put this whole thing together she got the models and the wedding dresses and everything. And it was such an amazing experience. I had one of my friends come and assist. So she was there like doing little things. Like we were working. It was like all girl team. Like it was amazing. And then from that experience, we were like, we got to share this. We got to create this with other people and let them know that this only came together because we weren't in competition with each other. Everybody had a role. Everybody played it. You gave suggestions. Nobody was like, that's not my idea. I don't want to do it. Like everyone was just so cohesive together. And we felt like it was really important to give the space and the environment to reproduce that across the city, because there's so much like, I'm not going to ask them to come, or like, I only use this makeup artist and I only talk to this hairstylist. It's like, how old are we? Grow up.
Come on now. No, I mean, I could get like, people have like their preferred person,
Yeah.
but I mean, if that's your thing, then that might not be for you. Because when I feel like you're in a creative space, it's going to be like getting out your comfort zone. It's going to be trying, trend setting things. It's not going to be your normal type of photo shoot.
Exactly.
People are going to have a different eye for things, which I personally got to go to the first one. I got to really indulge and kind of like see how that was. And for those of you who do know me out there, y'all know it'd be hard to find me. Okay. And so when I saw that they had this, and I think I did see it in one of you guys' story that was talking, I was like, oh my gosh, because I feel like that's something, and this is honestly why I kind of like doing the podcast too, because it's the same kind of community that you're kind of like creating. And because all you guys are going to be on the show, so y'all be on the lookout. But it was really nice. I feel like that was, and I don't think I probably personally told you, but it was a really good time for me to be in that space at that time, because I was like just slaving over weddings, and then I was so used to doing like fashion show. That's where I started my career, was fashion shows and publication work. So that was already for me like very just like it was like what I needed to like get my juju back, you know? And I was like, oh man, that was nice, just to create being like just flow, and I want to really like just it really was a moment for me to kind of just really just get my flow in. So if you guys have not followed them on IG, are you guys on TikTok too?
We're not on TikTok.
Not yet. Go hit them up. I will have everything linked in the descriptions below. So check them out if you haven't. Beautographer LV, right?
Yes.
Yes. And now the grand question for the projects. We have a photo walk I hear coming up. Yes. What is that about?
I'm hosting a photo walk, and the theme of it is out of your comfort zone. Before Beautographer had got started, I was doing a lot of just like collaborations with like creative stuff. I would come up with a concept, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. We've been painting ladders. We've been like just all kinds of stuff. Flowers.
Yes.
It's been a whole thing. So people kind of know me for that creativity. And WPPI is a conference convention that comes out here every year, and it's weddings, portraits, and I always forget what the P and the I are.
Look it up.
Yeah, you look it up. WPPI. But it's a huge photographer and videographer like conference that comes out here, and photographers from all over come to Vegas, and they go to different classes and things like that. But it's a great opportunity for the people that you've connected with on social media to be able to come, and you can host a photo walk, which is essentially a content day. So some people are like, what is a photo walk? But it's a content day. But you can set it up however you want to set it up. But for me, I'm going to have 7 models with 7 different looks.
It's going to be hot, y'all.
It's going to be a vibe.
I already got the scoop. I already seen the looks.
She already seen the looks. She on the team. So we have hair and makeup set up for the models, and photographers signed up to be able to come, and they're going to get merch and food and also a buttload of content so they can come and create and just kind of, like you said, like, get out of your comfort zone. I have different shades, shapes, genders. Like, it's a little bit of everything. So you can really, stretch yourself out. Because I think sometimes if you only do senior portraits, you get stuck doing senior portraits. You only do women, you get stuck doing women all the time. But to be able to go to something and get some quality models, quality, hair and makeup done that you can really add to your portfolio, unmatched, and it's gonna be a vibe.
It is.
It's gonna be a vibe.
I probably need to have my husband. I'm like, baby, I need you on camera duty. We need some behind the scenes.
We need some BTS. Yeah.
We just need 3 people for BTS for each artist. Okay?
No, literally, because it's so much going on.
Hit me up in my inbox if that's you. Okay.
Okay, it's gonna be a great time. I'm really excited.
Oh no, I'm excited about that too. And it's in March, right?
Yes, March 6th.
Okay, that's my birthday month, y'all. It's about to be a good one.
Period.
So with all these challenges I feel like you face, you know, and I won't even say, you know, we like to use the word challenges, but we all know that challenges, you know, turn into lessons.
Yes.
And so with that being said, with all the challenges that you have faced, you know, doing what you do, like what is the best advice you can give for, I mean, it doesn't have to be specifically photographers, but just as an entrepreneur and, you know, someone that's trying to get out here and do what we're doing.
First, no. Honestly, find yourself. Starting a business and not knowing who you are, sometimes it's like on the job training, right? You're going through life. You're not going to know exactly who you are every single step of the way. You're constantly being open to new things and changing and growing. But when you start a business, if you're not grounded in who you are, you're going to be thrown, like just tossed and you're going to be like, it's not going to be a blessing. It's going to be almost like depressing.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be really taxing and it's going to feel like it's stealing from you, not that it's adding to you.
Yes.
So take the time to get to know who you are and don't be afraid to stand on who you are and what you want to represent for your business.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship is not easy. And I'm a mother as well. So those two things and learning how to balance those things while also being a good representation of a parent or an adult to my son.
And Bree homeschools, y'all. So she doing it out here. She doing the damn thing.
Yeah, we got homeschool, but then like balancing, like I love my job. Like I love what I do and I also love my son. But sometimes like I'm spending more time here than I am with him. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't do that.
Right.
You know, he comes first. So I would definitely say just be okay with who you are and be open to the help that comes, but also if you get mentors and things like that.
Yes.
When people are giving you help and information, you can be open to it without doing exactly what they say.
Right.
Take what you need and use that.
Yes.
Apply that, and you'll be good.
Yes.
You know.
I like that. I like that. That was good. I hope y'all listen to that. Y'all might need to rewind that a couple minutes.
Screen record.
But girl. No, Bree, thank you for being on here. You were the perfect person to have on here for the second episode. So I do want to thank you. I can't wait to do all the things this year. And speaking of this year, what's one thing that you're kind of looking forward to for this year for yourself?
This year is kind of like a shift for Bree Images. So every year, the Lord, like literally from the beginning to now, I'll be like, I really want to shoot a baby. Like, I want to do a newborn. And then like a couple weeks later, I'm like, do you shoot newborns? And I'm like, yeah, I do now. You know, so it's literally been like that every year. Last year was a huge creative year.
Yes.
It was all editorial, fashion, like just out of the box type things. And then I started realizing people were like, Bree, do you do headshots? And I'm like, why you ask? Yes. Why would you ask me that? And then I started scrolling through my page and I was like, oh. They're like, that's not me. That's not me. People weren't seeing themselves on my page, even though I was doing all those things the whole time.
Yeah.
So this year I want to definitely dedicate towards small businesses, entrepreneurs, and even kind of like the influencer route a little bit, doing headshots and just really helping people tell their story through their brand with their images while also giving them the tools and the resources they need to actually use their content. A lot of times people don't know how to use it, and it makes it like they don't want to pay for pictures because they're like, why would I pay all that money for pictures? And it's like, no, you're not using it right.
Right. Let them know.
Let me help you.
Come on now.
So that's what this year is going to be dedicated to, just kind of educating the entrepreneur a little bit while also being a resource for them. So,
and that's the big thing. And I think that's why having you on this podcast and just doing this podcast is exactly what you just said. It's just like being able to educate, because, you know, like we've had mentors growing up into our business, and myself included, was really nice. And so sometimes it's just like not knowing, you know? And so if I can do and can say anything that I can to help you guys, you know, this is the place to come.
Yes.
Because we're going to get people like Bree on here to give y'all the gems.
We're going to tell you.
We're going to
tell you. And it's going to be free. I ain't even charging you.
Hey, yet.
Get it while it's free.
Oh my God. Hey. But no, you guys, that is it for this episode. I just want to thank everyone who tuned in today. If you guys are first time coming on here, definitely come back because we have more. And in the meantime, in between time, go hit that subscribe button and go follow your girl, Bree Images. And we will see you guys on the next.